name is Julia, and in this video, we'll talk about the key rules of CV screening. Screening is one of the first steps in the hiring process that helps you quickly filter out relevant candidates. As a rule, at this stage, you do not delve deeply into the candidate's soft skills. First of all, CV screening is carried out to identify those candidates whose skills and experience best match the requirements of the vacancy. This process takes some time. That is why CV screening is definitely not about speed, but about the quality of reading. We can single out the following rules for high quality CV screening. Rule number 1: carefully learn the job description. Before you start working with CV, open the job description and read it carefully to understand all the requirements for the candidate. Basically, the job description is the document we rely on when screening CVs. It describes in detail the obligatory and desirable requirements for the candidate's profile, responsibilities, offered budget, and so on. We will compare all CVs with this document for a match. So highlight the criteria that are a must for the candidate to be relevant. For your convenience, open two tabs: the job description and the candidate CV, and check step by step whether the CV meets each of the requirements, asking the candidate for additional information if necessary. When screening a CV, it's important to analyze the information not only on the job titles, but also to carefully review the functional responsibilities, as they may not coincide with the functions of the specialist we're looking for. Companies may have similar job titles that imply different functionality. Make sure that the candidate has enough experience with all the items listed in the requirements. Besides, please note that the job description specifies the requirements for the necessary commercial experience. In other words, commercial work experience is the proven experience of a candidate for a specific position in a company. Freelance projects cannot be considered as commercial experience. When reviewing CVs, look for potential red flags that exist for a particular job. For example, you are working on a senior sales specialist vacancy, and the job description states that candidates who have work experience only in the markets of post-CIS countries are not considered. And the candidate CV contains only this location. And when you ask for more details, the candidate replied that he had not worked with other locations. So, unfortunately, we are not able to move forward with him. In addition, pay attention to the candidate's location and make sure that it matches the one specified in the requirements. In their CVs, candidates indicate their level of foreign language proficiency. Make sure that the stated level meets the requirements of the vacancy. To tell the truth, there are cases when a candidate creates a CV and submits it to several vacancies at once, but you must admit that receiving a CV that contains the title of completely different vacancy looks like the candidate is not interested in a particular position. Therefore, the job title in your candidate CV should match the one in the job description. The language in which the CV is written is also important. Please take into account that the CV must be written in English. Being attentive during the screening process will help you to conduct an effective and high-quality selection of candidates. If you have any doubts about the information provided in the CV, contact the candidate to clarify the points of doubt. This is an effective way to ensure that you don't miss out on a candidate who really fits the requirements of the position. You need to learn how to read and see what kind of person is behind the document. It's important to be able to engage in critical thinking and analyze all the facts that are available in a CV. I'm sure that the screening stage is as much important as the interview stage. Follow the steps above and check out the following guide on how to screen CVs to select the best talent for your vacancies.
Hi, today we're screening CV of the candidate together. It's very important to learn the job description first, so pay your attention to all specifics of the vacancy. So let's look at the position of Senior Data Analyst. So we see that we can consider any location of the candidate, but the main thing is not more than 2 hours between from Central European time zone. Okay, so it's like, for example, it could be a Poland or Germany, so all the countries in this area. So also we should see that we need 5 years of experience. Okay, now let's look at the job description. So here we have very important technology stack: SQL, DAX, Power BI, Python, Snowflake. As I said, 5 years of experience in data and analytics, BI or data science, and for sure English level, at least B2. Okay, now we're going to check the CV of one of the candidates that we have on the platform. Let's look. So it's Sergey. We see that he is in Krakow, Poland. That's perfect. That works for us. Yeah, and let's look at his CV. Okay, yeah, it's pretty impressive from the first sight. Now let's look at his technology stack. So it's SQL. Very nice, SQL. Also, we have here Python. Yeah, very nice. Also, we have here more data modeling, Power BI. That's perfect. Okay, very nice. So it's very nice technology stack, as you can see. So we like checked it, and now we need to check if there is DAX coding in his CV. Control F. No, there is no DAX coding in his CV. But if, for example, if you can't find some, for example, technologies in candidate CV, so you can just ask the candidate directly about that. So now let's check the recruiter notes, and we see that the recruiter Vera, she asked the candidate about this experience, and she mentioned that he has 1 year of experience with DAX coding. So that's perfect. That's very nice. But also she mentioned that this candidate has not experience with Snowflake. But I should say that for this position, senior data analyst Snowflake, it's not the must-have. So it's okay that this candidate, whose name is Sergey, doesn't have experience with Snowflake. Okay, so now let's check if he has 5 years of general experience. Okay, so he has been working in TL from 2022. Also, he worked at Harvey. Okay, there as data analyst from 2019, also at Harvey. Very good. He optimized SQL queries. That's perfect. So it's already 5 years as he's working. In data analytics. That's great. So I should say that this candidate is very relevant for this role. It's pretty relevant. So very good. So in this case, I just want to repeat one more time. If you can't find some information in candidate CV, but which is very important for their vacancy, you can just ask this candidate directly about that. And when you submit this candidate on the platform, please just inform us about this in recruiter notes. Also, one of the main must-haves was English level at least B2, so you remember that. Let's check in his CV that, we see that his English level is C1, it's advanced, so that works for us perfectly. Well, now we are moving forward to the next position, the next vacancy. So this is sales executive or account executive role. Let's pay our attention to some specifics, to some requirements. We see that we can consider Ukrainians, Belarusians, or candidates from Kazakhstan. Also, we have here English level C1. Now let's look at the job description. Proven experience in B2B customer success manager role. Okay, preferably within the SaaS industry from 1 year. Got it. Well, also we have here Upwork, but it's pretty easy for candidates who are from sales field. So almost all of them worked with Upwork. Excellent communication skills. HubSpot, this is a CRM system. Okay, and so this is some kind of like research, yeah, formats, Boolean and Elasticsearch, and for sure English, as we solved this requirement previously. Okay, now I just want to suggest you to come to the next city. This is Alexander. Let's look at his name, Alexander Snigul, yeah, right? So now we see that he speaks Ukrainian. Let's look where did Alexander receive his education. Okay, he got his education in Khmelnytsky National University. Khmelnytsky, this is the Ukrainian city, yeah, Khmelnytsky. So that means that this candidate is Ukrainian. So this is something that we can consider for this position. Well, now let's look at his English level. English level full professional, very nice. So that means that this candidate can speak fluently. And now I just want to see his positions. Okay, he worked as cashier, then lead generation specialist. Okay, next he started to work as an entrepreneur. That's nice. That means he had like this English practice, a lot of English practice. That's nice. Then he became lead generation specialist in Estonia. Well, that's nice. And next, sales development representative. Okay, very interesting. So, he worked in the company which is called SoftSeri. Let's check what is the company. So we see that this is product development company. Yeah. So okay, B2B SaaS platform, awesome. And he worked in this company for about 1 year and 2 months. Very nice. And you remember that one of the main requirements for this position is proven experience in B2B customer success manager role, customer success manager, and here we have sales development representative. It's almost the same, like it's okay. Or like researching potential clients, and also he had been handling the early interactions with the prospect or lead. That's nice. Running lead generation campaigns, perfect. Okay, I do really like this CV, his experience. Yeah, that's nice. And also we couldn't find here HubSpot in his CV. Yeah, there is no HubSpot in his CV. But I think that it will be pretty easy for him to learn new CRM, or maybe we can ask this candidate directly if he had experience with a HubSpot CRM system or not. Very nice. So I think that we can consider this candidate for sure. If you are working on some sales representative roles or some management roles, of course, it's very important to talk with the candidate. Just to talk. For example, you can call the candidate to have the conversation in English with this person and to understand if he or she has nice communication skills for this position, and to be sure that this candidate must be considered. Yeah. Well, so I think that today we overseen the very interesting positions, and I hope that this video was very helpful for you. Again, if you have any questions, if you have any concerns, or maybe something is not understandable for you in the job descriptions, you can always ask us, the hiring managers, about some positions. So no worries to ask us. So we would be very happy to help you.